Hey guys, Eric Cogorno here with Mr. JT Thomas, here with Performance Golf. In today's video, we're talking about how to steepen your backswing elements to shallow your downswing elements. And there's a couple key pieces in today's video that if you don't have in your swing early on, make things later on very difficult. It could be why you're struggling to get some of those pieces you want in the downswing. So JT, when we're talking steepening the backswing to shallow the downswing, there's a couple different things we mean by that.
Yes.
But I know you told me one time that there's like this #1 backswing killer.
Yeah.
There's one thing that ruins so many backswings that we have to have in there. Before we get into how to do it, what is that thing?
Yeah, so that main thing is left side bend in the backswing. So we see most golfers really struggle with that, struggle with kind of how to get back down to the ball, and lack of left side bend's almost always the culprit.
Yeah. And so when you say left side bend, I guess show us first with a swing.
Yep.
Like what a good left side bend kind of shoulder down would look like versus the bad.
Yep.
And then we'll go through what is that like individually.
Yeah, perfect. So a bad backswing, which is what we see often where people really struggle with contact, is one where I go back and my left shoulder gets really flat or pretty much parallel to the ground.
Yeah.
So now this only line of energy or force I can create is like 5 feet above the ball.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, I'm trying to hit the ball on the ground. My brain knows that. If I'm gonna go from this flat position, I'm gonna almost always go down to the steeper position.
Yes.
Right. And so a good one, which is what we want to do, the opposite of that, is this left shoulder going down in the backswing to where now, again, I'm kind of, if I drop my arm straight down, bam, I'm going to hit the golf ball. My energy is directed at the golf ball. If anything, I can start to take away some of that and kind of get into some right side bend on the way through. So that's really the key.
And if you take your setup again,
yeah.
So like the good version of left side bend, the first thing I heard JT say that really helped me with this, if we look at like the distance of, let's say, the shoulder relative to the hip.
Yep.
The feeling here of side bending is like decreasing that distance or getting your shoulder closer to your hip. Is that good?
Correct.
So like if we were, let's do it with a swing.
Yep.
So trying to feel like this shoulder gets closer to the hip on the way back, that would be good. Take your setup one more time.
Yep.
A big thing that you're gonna see from there, from face on, if we draw a circle around JT's head, go ahead and do that again.
Yeah.
When he left side bends, his head stays nicely in the circle. He stays very centered from face on. That makes things easier.
Yep.
Also, if he does the good version again, from down the line, this like spine angle or distance of his body relative to the ground stays the same.
Yep.
That also makes things very easy.
Yes.
Let's do the bad one. I know you want to do the bad one.
Yep.
High
Okay.
shoulder, no side bend. His head will work off the target from face on. Fats and thins behind the ball, and they're good. And also, let's do that again.
Yeah.
When he does the bad shoulder high, notice from down the line how he's standing up very much.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get out of that one.
Yeah.
So just like in terms of what that creates and the issues with it, it's so darn important. And now one thing, actually, why don't you guide me through this?
Yeah, perfect.
And you guys at home do the same thing. If I wanted to feel side bend in and of itself without a club,
Yeah.
how do I feel that?
So you would start, completely straight. So making sure you're not like leaning forward, leaning back, just trying to get your, shoulder in line with your hip, in line with your ankle.
Okay.
And then from there, what you're going to try and do is reach down and touch your left knee, but don't move your hips. So you only have to do it with your...
Reach my left hand to my left knee.
Yes. And don't move your hips.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So you should feel like some crunching there, some lengthening on that side.
Okay.
Right? A bad way would be doing it just with your hips. So most people would kind of reach down.
This way?
Exactly, yes. And so then nothing would change. So if you don't feel anything different happening in your sides,
Yes.
that's how you know this isn't good.
Okay. So this like hip out to the right creates some tilt, but not the side bend.
Not the side bend, exactly. So we want to make sure we're getting it from our spine is going to be more of the feeling.
So chest stays back, no hip to the right, kind of fingernails or fingertips to my side here. And obviously when we watch this from face on, you're gonna notice my left shoulder getting close to my left hip, and my head will actually work this way forward towards the target.
Yes.
But then the second part of this, right, because we gotta turn.
Yeah.
So what do I do from here?
So yeah, so once you do this is a great drill actually. So reach down and grab your left knee, and then you're gonna reach over and kind of go behind your trail knee. So get your left hand behind your trail knee.
And like keep that.
Yes, keep that crunch, yes.
Okay, so I'm going left hand, left knee.
Yep.
That's the side bend.
Yes.
And then left hand behind the right knee for the turn.
Yep.
Kind of back here.
Great.
That way I get the side bend and the turn. And what you should see from there is very centered from face on, and then maintaining that inclination
to the ground. Yes.
When I first heard him tell me this, and I kind of like wasn't grasping it as much of what you were saying, he said, okay, Eric, make a backswing and get your shoulders like level. Do the bad version. So I went up, he's like this. I said, okay, this is good. He's like, yeah, that looks good. And he said, get down to the ball. And instinctively, without you telling me, I said, well, the only way I feel like I can get down to the ball from here is to go this way. It's kind of my upper body down, chest down. Now, obviously, when I do that from down the line, what happens to the club? Here's the bad flat.
Yeah.
As soon as I try and get back down to the ball, that shaft gets way too steep, too over the top.
Yes.
A lot of golfers that we see struggle with that steep downswing, struggle with contact and direction, and they see that and they try and fix that.
Yeah.
But in fact, the reason that's there in the first place is because they didn't get this left side bend correct on the way back.
Exactly, and that's what causes that causes a lot of the issues.
Yeah.
The other thing that you'll see is when you have that issue of going back flat, so if you go back flat here, and then you start coming down, what you have is a very chaotic scenario where you're going towards the ground and the club is going towards the ground. So we're actually having a lot of issues to where, we're gonna start to bend the arms, we're gonna start to stand up, again, all those bad things. So, if we can go down on the way back, then we can start to take out some of the way down on the way through, which is a really big deal. Yeah.
And so as I start to feel this, like obviously I'm gonna have that sensation, I feel like I really hone in on my like oblique crunch.
Yes.
I kind of feel like I'm doing like a left side oblique crunch on the way back.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting my oblique crunch, but I'm also getting some turn. I'm not just doing the side bend.
Yeah, your head will go too far to, towards the left or towards the target if that's actually happening. Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
No.
Okay. So it's a left shoulder down, but also some turn.
Some pivot, yep.
Okay, so let me hit one with that first. So I'm gonna feel that same thing, JT. Left shoulder down, a little bit of that oblique crunch.
Yep.
They're in the backswing. Let's go ahead and feel one of those.
There we go.
Yeah, and there's a solid one.
Yeah, pure.
And I can feel for me, like sometimes when I swing and I go off, like I wanna get to
flat right away.
that feel.
Yeah.
And one of the other pieces with this, we mentioned some of the benefits and some of the things that it could cause that's bad. One of the things, JT, let's flip-flop spots.
Yeah.
This concept of like steepening things and elements during the backswing, not just for like club path, but the angle of attack part.
Yeah.
The steepening of things on the way back so that we can shallow it on the way down.
Yes, exactly. So most people, really think about like, hey, I have to be steep. I have to hit down on the way down, right? They hear I hit down on the golf ball, right? Aren't I supposed to hit down?
Yeah.
But the problem is really good golfers build in all of that in the backswing and they actually take it out on the way down. That's really the key. So most golfers don't have any and they make way too much.
Yeah,
right?
so that'd be like the bad version.
That'd be the bad version. So we're actually trying to make a decent amount, make it a lot, and then take it out on the way through. So we're hitting down, but they're nice divots instead of, graves here we're digging to hit the golf ball.
I thought that was very interesting because I see that all the time. The good golfers steepen things, and then they shallow it out on the way down.
Correct.
Bad golfers shallow it on the way back and steepen on the way down.
Yes, correct.
Trying to flip that. So like when you feel this in your own swing, you do one or two rehearsals and then hit one, you feel the same sort of things, or do you key in on anything else?
For sure, same sort of things, really trying to feel, again, closing that gap between my shoulder and my hips is a really big deal. I feel a little bit of lengthening or stretching on this back side.
Okay.
That helps me, again, feel like, okay, if you maybe can't feel it here, you should definitely feel it on your back. So being able to feel that nice stretch, the better you feel the stretch, that's a good thing.
So that's just like a different way to feel the same thing, right side lengthen.
Yes, right side lengthening, yep,
Okay.
for sure. And again, you don't want to feel your hips move all over the place, right? This will be the wrong way, using your hips too much.
Yeah.
Right? So big key, just trying to get my shoulder down here. Again, feel that lengthening a little bit on my right side, and then just go ahead and hit one out there.
Yeah, and JT's a really good, what a good shot there.
Yeah, that was pure there.
JT's a really good model for this. You might hit one more, JT.
Yeah, of course.
JT's a really good model for this. He does this move in particular really well. And you notice too the benefits he gets if you watch how his club shaft moves. JT, if you do the good version with the shoulder down, what's gonna happen from there is the shaft's gonna get a little bit more vertical, right? Or a little bit steeper, lighter. A lot of golfers, when they do the bad version, the shoulder's too level, that club gets real flat.
Yeah, and heavy.
It's heavy. It's not just the shoulders that get flat, the shaft gets flat too.
For sure.
So when JT does this good, the left shoulder goes down, that helps keep the club on plane. If you struggle with your takeaway, club going inside, it's a big culprit for that.
Absolutely.
So the shoulder goes down, the club gets more vertical and lighter, and then he's able to right side bend and shallow that out really easily. JT's a really good swing model for this. Let's see one more.
Exactly.
Just a cruiser out there.
Yeah.
That's really nice, man.
Yeah.
Very, very solid. We would all take that high, straight, maybe like a 2-yard draw.
All day.
Very solid. Left side bend is non-negotiable in your swing to build in a good swing pattern. If you struggle with the downswing steepening, very likely you don't have this correct on the way back. Really cool little drill to feel that. Make sure you turn enough. Use some of those reference points that we mentioned. You're gonna be hitting your irons much more solid and straighter. Any questions, always, leave us a comment down below. Click that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys for watching.
Let's focus on what really matters. I'm Erica Larkin, Golf Digest Top 50 coach, and after teaching thousands of golfers, I've discovered most players are focused on the wrong target. Most golfers don't realize this, but every player has about 5 swing flaws. The key to improving isn't trying to fix them all, it's knowing which one to work on first. Because when you fix the right one, it creates this amazing domino effect that clears up multiple other flaws automatically. At Performance Golf, we use this cool process called the immersion method to find and fix your root swing flaw. This is a 48-hour in-person experience. You'll work directly with me or one of the other world-class coaches to fix the one thing that's been holding your game back. We'll keep our groups small at beautiful locations across the country, and the progress I see is incredible. Dennis, for example, dropped 8 shots after fixing his root flaw. How great is that?
My golf game has improved by 8 to 9 shots. I felt I'm starting to love the game of golf a little more. I'm not getting near as frustrated. Before the school, I was handicapped 26.6, slicing real bad to the right. Couldn't hit my irons flush.
If this sounds like the breakthrough you've been waiting for, click below and see if there's a spot open. This could be the one thing that takes your game to that next level.